Alright, back again. Okay, this is about 21 hours after finishing watching the WEC 34, which was, if you don't really pay attention to the numbers, it's WEC Faber versus Pulver, and Torres versus Maeda as the secondary main event. Not the greatest card pick-wise, but a very, very exciting card to watch. A lot of upsets. Disturbing number of upsets, actually, makes sense. Oh well. First up, Tim McKenzie tapped out Jeremy Lang in the third round. There was like really little time left. It's a good win for Tim McKenzie, who's kind of an on and off fighter. Struggles at times, but he did well this time, so I don't really know what they plan on doing with him. I actually think he was supposed to lose that one, but Charlie Valencia versus Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz showed that although he wasn't terribly successful at 145, he definitely has a name to deal with the bantamweight because he got the unanimous decision over Charlie Valencia. I didn't see the fight, so I can't say what happened, but I suspect he probably got wrestled. He's bigger than Valencia, so it's possible. Alex Serdyukov TKO'd or knocked out, I don't know which, but a stoppage due strikes on Luis Sapo in the first round. It's a good win for Serdyukov, who's another guy who's kind of on and off. Sapo, good ground fighter, but doesn't kind of not much stand-up, and I suspect that's what happened this fight. Next up was a big upset. Alexander Franco Nogueira, who's considered one of the best featherweights probably in the world in general. I would say top 10 for sure. He's fighting Jose Aldo. Now, Jose Aldo, he's hard to rank because he fights at a number of different weight classes, as high as lightweight, as low as bantamweight. I think if he can get his weight under control and make bantamweight consistent, this is a guy who could be a top 3 bantamweight in the world. Up there with the Hogazonos and the Miguel Torreses, who we'll talk about later, and so on. However, having seen him try to make 135, it looks like 145 is probably where he's going to have to fight for the time being, and he TKOs Nogueira in the second round. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign that he should still be a force to be reckoned with, even at a slightly higher weight class. Next was Chase Beebe, Will Ribeiro. Very surprising to see Chase Beebe lose a decision, because I mean, decisions is a wrestler's bread and butter, and there's not that many wrestlers better than Beebe at 135, at least outside of Japan, which is of course the mecca for the lower weight classes. Excuse me. This is 2 losses in a row for Beebe, so I don't know. Maybe losing Miguel Torres is just it might have taken it out of him. We'll have to see. Or maybe Will Ribeiro is just a lot better than we've been led to believe. Alright, on to the part of the card we actually saw, not in any order, but this is MMA Playground. Listed Donald Cerrone submitted Danny Castillo in the first round. Basically, Castillo came out, took down Donald Cerrone. Donald Cerrone's a very odd fighter to fight because, I mean, he's so slick off his back, and he's good on his feet. He's kind of like the Carlos Condit of 155. He got taken down, and he tapped him pretty much like it was nothing. I mean, he threw up a couple of submissions. Castillo got out of them, but, you know, it looks like when Donald Cerrone wants to submit you, and if he does it, he attempts enough times, he's, you know, gonna do it, and that's all there's to it. Ooh, one other non-televised fight was Jeff Curran versus Mike Thomas Brown. This was a huge upset. Jeff Curran is the probably easily second highest ranked featherweight in the WEC, behind Uriah Faber and perhaps behind Joseph Pulver now, and well, maybe behind Mike Thomas Brown now. And he loses a judge's decision to Mike Thomas Brown, and that's Curran's bread and butter is winning decisions. So it was a weird night, like I said. Yeah, with Beebe losing, with Curran losing, with Alexander Franco Nogueira losing. These are some considerably massive upsets. Mike Thomas Brown looked good. He's had an up and down career, mainly because he's had to fight at 155 a lot. I think he could fight at 135 if he were to go for it. It seems like the ATT guys are a little bit, they don't really go for the weight class that they should be in. I'll use the example of Amir Basade, who fought at heavyweight and 205 and really is no bigger than a welterweight, and not even a big welterweight. He's fighting at welterweight now. But yeah, it seems to be a common trait within the ATT. I don't know really why that is. Rob McCullough's comeback fight against Kenneth Alexander. Rob McCullough wins this one by a split decision. Kenneth Alexander looked good, but at the same time, Rob McCullough let him look good. Rob McCullough seemed much like he was in the Jamie Varner fight. He was afraid of getting taken down, which is weird, because when Kenneth Alexander did shoot, Rob actually reversed it and got on top a few times and stuffed it other times. I mean, when I was watching this fight, I was screaming at the screen going, get in his face, get aggressive, be the razor, not be this counter fighter that you seem to have become. It's a little weird. Nonetheless, he gets the win. Hopefully he gets back to being the razor, because the way he's fighting now, I mean, he isn't going to get his title back against Jamie Varner, that's for sure. And there's a couple other lightweights that are going to pick him off, like Ed Radcliffe, for example, who I think if they match those two up, Radcliffe would probably wreck Razor Rob the way he's fighting right now. Miguel Torres versus Yoshihiro Maeda. This was, of course, for the bantamweight title, newly won by Torres. It was a good fight. It wound up with Dr. Stoppage in the third round when they said that Maeda couldn't see. That wasn't overly surprising because his eye was very closed. Torres, he put a torrid pace on him on the feet. He looked good striking. Didn't have a ton of luck taking Maeda down, and I think that might be a bit of a downfall, is that I don't think Maeda was prepared for the striking that Torres threw at him, and the next guy might. Maeda took him down, but you don't want to take Miguel Torres down. He's excellent off his back. Torres kind of, I don't know if he's the #1 bantamweight in the world at this point. Although with Hokazono's retirement, I think we're probably looking at that. Although I would pay big money to see Miguel Torres call out Hokazono at a post-fight press conference or after he's gotten the win, because it seems to me Hokazono did not retire due to old age. He retired due to the fact that he wanted to be the best, and the only guy he really had left to beat was Ryo Matsune. And if you know anything about Ryo Matsune, man, his glass is heck. I also paid big money for Torres to call it Ryo Matsune, and see, but that fight's not going to happen because it's Ryo Matsune. Yeah. Anyways, I think he needs an established win, because Chase Beebe was just getting established. Yoshihiro Maeda, of course, fought at featherweight for the large portion of his career. So before I guess I attach that #1 ranking to him, he probably should beat someone in the top 10. Just a thought. But I don't think the WEC has anybody that can match Miguel Torres. A fight I missed earlier was Mark Munoz and Chuck Gribsy. I had Gribsy, unfortunately. I thought he was going to kind of steamroll this, but he fought dumb. I don't like to speak badly of fighters' heart and everything, but I will speak badly of a game plan at times, because every time Grigsby would push Munoz off of him with his legs, because he has incredibly long legs, he didn't really make any effort to get back to his feet, which is where he really had Munoz beat. Munoz has underdeveloped striking, and he's young in his career in that regard. I mean, he's a ground fighter right now, and he didn't bother to try to get to his feet, and I kept wondering that. If I was his corner, I would have been yelling at him to do it. In the end, Munoz, he KOs him on the ground, or TKO, if your definition of a KO has to be standing. But it was a good fight. Well, it lasted. By the way, the Torres Maeda fight, I thought that was great until I saw the main event of the evening, Jens Pulver and Uriah Faber. Faber shows a considerably higher level of striking than we had seen from him. Mind you, we hadn't seen a lot of striking from Uriah Faber, because people are trying to take him down all the time, and he's taking them down, which I always found weird. I always wondered why someone didn't stand with him. Jens tried standing with him. Largely, I think Faber won the striking, although, I mean, he appeared to damage Pulver a lot, but it's hard to say, because I personally think that Uriah Faber is something like a BJ Penn type fighter, where the damage just doesn't show on him for some reason. I think that's the deal. Because Pulver did light him up a couple times, and he didn't really seem to do a lot of damage, which is weird. Pulver did stuff some takedowns. He looked for guillotines and anacondas when he could off of the takedowns, which was good to see. I mean, Pulver seems to be becoming more well-rounded, and I mean that's huge. That's always been the biggest knock on him, is that he's not that well-rounded. But running out of time now, I look. Unanimous decision for Faber. I agree with it. He took every round. He was the only one to get. He put Pulver on his back a few times. He outstruck Pulver. But this is an early candidate, I would say, for the fight of the year, and it's definitely the fight of the month so far. But that's a really early candidate for fight of the month. But I will see you guys when I do a video next.